Здравствуйте. Добро пожаловать в Таджикистан, который является одним из учредителей маркеза Субидомиш. Шомале в гимназии Таджикистана, яке аз масони маркези Субидомиш мебошад. Ташаккур аз қабули таклифи мо, даъвати мо ба Дарси Устод орид ба таҳияи барномаҳои мобилӣ, афзорҳои мобилӣ дар асоси системаи оператсиони iOS ва Android. Дарси мо, Дарси Устод Питер Синтиян роҳбари дастаи лоиҳаи муҳити инфотек аз бандавои Ҳиндустон мебошад, ки муҳити инфотек яке аз шарикони маркез Субидомиш мебошад дар татбиқи технологияи инновационӣ дар Тоҷикистон. лоиҳа давоми як соли охир амалӣ шуда истодааст бо дастгирии лицензияният шуда. ҳозир дар давоми ин ҳафта тренингҳои навбатӣ гузашта истодам ва имрӯз мо ба хулоса омадем ки чунин қарор омадем ки барои ҳамаи нигоҳи ҳавасманд шарикони мо мутахассис коршиносон соҳа соҳаи технологияи коммуникатсионӣ як дарс кушода мастер класс додем аз соати 2 то 5 мешавад. ҳама шогирдони масъул низ дар инҷо иштирок мекунанд. мо раванди дарсро пурра тарҷима намекунем. устод Питер ба забони англисӣ дарсро мебарад. Русӣ тоҷикаш ҳоло дар he has some Tajik aggression. شاید سال آینده بررسی کنیم. ما پورا روند درس رو ترجمه نمی‌کنیم، لیکن در حالتی که ترجمه ضرور است که سوابق پیدا می‌شود یا هموزیده درس برداریم سوابق گذاری کنیم و ما کوشش می‌کنیم که اون رو ترجمه کنیم. We will not translate the whole process, I mean the whole session, but whenever people participants want to have questions, if they have any questions, then we might translate it. Okay? نفرانی که Nah kalau kita terjemah yang orang handong mungkin baik itu sudah tahu mana kalau itu saya jelas itu kalau dan waktu terus terjadi tidak ada waktu terus bertanya sama telefon. The floor is yours. Is I briefly introduce you, but if you like, you may do that in more details. Oh, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So, friends.
Akram. Maybe stay here and maybe Akram will help you.
Oh, sorry, you will help you. Switching between the slides. So, good afternoon, friends. So, today we'll be learning about development of iPhone and Android applications. So, we'll be just going through the basics, what are the requirements are there to, and what about the requirements to develop an iOS or an Android app. So, first we'll go through requirements and basic things and basic structure of Android application. Okay. So these are all the system requirements. You can actually develop on Windows, Mac OS, or even on Linux OS. So there are two primary things which are required. One is JDK and other one is Android Studio. JDK is Java Development Kit. You can actually go to Oracle website. So I have given the Oracle download link here. Okay. So how to download and install JDK, the latest version of JDK in your machine. So how to choose the respective OS. If you are using Windows machine, how to choose Windows package. Ubuntu means Ubuntu. Mac OS means Mac OS DMG5. So choose the right package, install it and configure it. Okay. So other one is Android Studio. So once after you download and install JDK, how to download and configure the Android Studio. So Android Studio is actually available in developer.android.com/URL there, you can see. So that to choose the right OS. If you are using Windows, choose the right package and install. So once you download and install these two, you can actually start the development. These two are the basic requirements. Okay. Okay. So those are the system requirements. Now we'll come to the programming skills that we need. Okay. Basically, you have to know Java, XML. You don't have to need that. Okay. Proficient enough. You just need the basics of XML. That's it. Then SQLite and JSON. So these are the four main things which are required for Android development. If you just need to develop a simple application, you can actually ignore SQLite and JSON. You can actually ignore. But the first two are very important. Without Java and XML, you cannot develop the Android application. If you go for, there's another way like some other cross-platform development tools. Like if you develop with JavaScript or HTML, like there are some tools called Accelerator or PhoneCam. So if you develop in those two, you don't need any of this. But if you are going for pure native development, you actually need Java and XML. So Java is the main language. Java is the main language of language which is required for the development. Okay. So more than Java, you actually need object-oriented programming concepts. You must be familiar with that. That's the main thing. It actually applies even in iOS development also.
Object-oriented programming is the basic thing which is required in both the cases. Okay. Then comes the XML. So XML is actually basically required in development of layouts, or what to say, which are views which is considered to the user interaction. Whatever things we are presenting to the user, so all those layouts will be designed using XML. Okay. Then comes the SQLite. SQLite, you can actually say a light version of SQL itself. So what it actually does is like stores all the data to a text file within the device. So actually supports all the relational database features, but it's like lightweight and it can be used for our application. So usual cases, I mean, for a normal application you may not require SQLite database and all. If you are developing a complex application which requires offline access, for example, if you are going for Facebook, if you are developing something like Facebook, so for what is it? For a better user experience, you must actually cache everything into your local database. So for instance, you use the app for first time. Take the case of Facebook itself. Okay, so you are using it for first time. So what happens is all the data, all the timeline, all the storage will be stored to your local database. Later on, even if you are offline, until like even offline, there is no connectivity. So you cannot caching all this data, and that case, when the user launches the app, there won't be anything to show. That is not a good user experience. So for that kind of a nice user experience, we are actually using offline caching and all. So even if there is no connectivity, we can actually present something to the user. So we can keep the user engaged within the app. So even if there is no connectivity, we can actually show some contents instead of showing a blank page. So that is one advantage. Another use is like if you consider the data usage, data is actually very important to the user. For example, you may be having only 2 GB or 5 GB data per month, right? From your operator, you may be getting 5 or 2 or 5, something like that. Some limited data will be getting from the operator. So, if you store everything in local, okay, each time when the user comes to that, there is no need to fetch from somewhere and store, display it again. So, in that way, you can actually save a lot of data also. So, SQLite is, we can actually use SQLite database for that reason also. Okay.
So how much? Okay, how much per month? It's how much per month? Any questions? Any questions right now? What we just said. How much you per month? Tidak boleh memakai ini darurat barui taҳияи барномаҳо дар муҳити андроид. Пеш аз ин система чӣ талаб мекунад, аз система чӣ талаб карда мешавад ва ин аст бошад аз бевосита аз худи ҳар як мо чӣ талаб карда мешавад. Агар мо хӯрем барома сохонам саволо бошад, савол пайдо шуд.
So next comes the JSON. JSON, right now we are using JSON to fetch the data from if you are doing an API code, for example, you want to get the timeline of your Facebook. We are taking the example of Facebook is the timeline story. So while coming to that page, you request to the server and you get all the data from server. So we have to pass every data separately and present it to the user. Right? So earlier we were using XML itself for this one also, but now almost all the apps are using JSON itself because JSON is lightweight, JSON is faster. So whenever we are doing a server interaction, and if you want to fetch some data and show it to the user, if the 99% of the cases will be getting the response data in a JSON format. So it's actually required to know, required to have the knowledge of JSON, how to parse the JSON.
который является с помощью которого мы создаем интерфейс пользователю. Это в виде окон, да, который называется у нас layout слои, который показывает интерфейс, например, на вход в виде интерфейса. Хорошо, SQL является локальной базой данных в Android системе, которая встроена и которую мы используем для хранения данных, для обработки и так далее. Например, если сайт MySQL, здесь Android локальной базой данных является SQL. И JSON является больше всего используемым форматом для передачи данных для создания API, с помощью которых, как бы мы, например, возникает вопрос, когда мы заходим в приложение, а там информация, да, можно прокрутить вниз и обновить новостной блок, который вы юзаете. Ваши сообщения старые, перейдите наоборот новые и так далее. Это все с помощью именно выполнять данные, в основном сейчас там много не говорит, сейчас большое стараются использовать, так и здесь используют JSON. Это является ответом от сервера в виде массива, при котором вы можете взять и находить простую массиву и проводить эту информацию. Например, как бы JSON дает нам возможность подключить программе удаленную какую-то базу данных и получать основную информацию. С помощью него, который создает API, который дает нам возможность, когда получается, что приложение, API и база данных, которая удаленная, и с него мы получаем информацию в виде JSON какого-то там. И как бы еще если сказал, что у нас там есть очень варианты, которые не используют SQL и JSON. Только Java и XML это получается те программы, которые никак не связаны с какими-то данными, данные внутри самой программы, внутри блоковых ресурсов и так далее. Получается, что как бы это все основные, как бы все, что используется шаг всего при разработке Android проекта, но в зависимости от того, что создается, используется в любом случае Java, может XML вместо XML, возможно, в любом случае для создания интерфейса используется XML. JSON, если вы подключаетесь к какой-то удаленной информации, и SQL, если вы храните эту информацию в локальной базе данных. Спасибо. Thank you. So, one more thing about JSON, like if you are developing an application which requires, like if, nowadays you can see a lot of apps are having login with Facebook, login with Google, so all those options, right? So if you want to have any of the like third-party library integration or third-party API integration, JSON is a must because all those APIs will be giving response in JSON format. So if you want to implement a login with Facebook or fetching Facebook contacts or fetching Gmail contacts, in all those cases, JSON is a must to have knowledge. Okay. Now we are going to the app
structure of an Android application. What are all the basic things and basic components in an Android application? So first thing is activities. So activities are basically Java files where you work on, and that's the main place where you write the main files where you write the codes. Basically each screen can have one Java class. Okay, so it actually contains a processing code that processing code that represents a user, represents your app to the user. So it may be like that there can be an image view which displays an image, or there can be a button. So the things, whatever user interaction we are doing, all those will be executed in this Java class. If you are tapping a button, the work must be done on tapping the button. Or like if you are clicking a button, after like on tapping a button, you have to show an alert like you tap this button. So all those codes will be written in this Java class. Even like on tapping somewhere in the screen, you want to navigate to another screen. So first will be one activity, second screen will be another activity. So whatever actions you have to do in the first screen, it must be declared and defined in the first activity class, and whatever things you are doing in the second screen, that must be declared in the second activity class. Okay. Then comes the layout resources. So earlier we spoke about XML files. So all the views, for example, one screen contains one text view, or one label, one image view. So all those things will be declared in one XML file. That will be all the properties of that particular screen. Like this text view must have this much width and like 100 dp width, 50 dp height. So all those properties will be declared in XML files. So we'll be basically creating XML file, and the root of that XML must be a view or a view group object. So basically there will be one root view object, or which will be creating its children. Like there will be one main view, over which will be creating like another text view, another image view. So the basic structure is like that. So anything is like the root element must be a view or view group element. So another thing is like each activity will be having one layout. So for example, take a case like there is an activity called main activity. So that main activity must be linked to a layout file. So this is how we will be loading proper layout file. So set content view layout name. So R basically stands for resources. So this layout files will be basically in resource folder of the Android application structure. We'll be going to that later. So basically this is how we'll be doing it. There will be layout files. So in each activity, on create there is one lifecycle method called onCreate method. So onCreate method will be loading the respective layout file in this format. Okay. Next comes the drawable resource. So drawable resource are basically background images that are used for each view, or background image which is used for a button, or a title bar image. So it can be any image which is used within the application. Okay. So by coming to resources, you can see if you go through the app structure, you can see like in drawable itself there are various folders called LDPI, MDPI, HDPI, XHDPI, HDPI and all. So basically these are all screen resolutions, device resolutions. So we have to keep image file for each device each screen resolution. If you are having a button and if you want to set a background image for that particular button, so if you want to set a background image for that particular button, you must keep this much, how much of the device resolutions, if Android is basically transferred into this much of resolution. So you have to place one image of each into each of these folders. So if you take double access DPI, it will be the highest resolution. Okay, so the highest resolution button image must be kept in that folder, and access DPI will be little more lesser than that double access DPI. So image resolution will be decreasing from double access DPI to LHDPI, sorry LDPI. So thing is like, if you keep a high resolution image in LDPI, so while rendering the image by Android, if the image is too big, it may throw out of memory exception and crash the app. So it's very important to keep images in the respective folders. Okay, and it's like it must be kept in all the folders. Otherwise, what Android will be trying to do is like assume that you are keeping images only in double access DPI. So what Android basically tries to do is, if images assume like the application is running in an LDPI device, so Android will try to pick the image from double access DPI and it tries to resize it by itself to fit into an LDPI device. So basically LDPI devices are very, but suddenly having very limited RAM and resources. It will be like older devices which are only very limited amount of RAM and processing power. So when it tries to pick a very big image and to resize and apply it to the view, there is a lot of chance of getting out of memory exception and crashing the application. So it's very important to have the images in all the folders. So if you are targeting for a specific resolution device only, assume like you are coming up with a requirement like we need an application for a specific tablet, Android tablet. So we won't be using that app in any other device. It will be only for this particular tablet. So if you are sure like you are going to use only in that tab, then it's good to have only one image, because it actually reduces the application size. Okay, and even performance will be faster, because resources are less, performance will be high. So if you are sure like you are going to target only one or two devices, then you can actually place resource in only that folder. Then that's not a problem. But if you are targeting many devices from very low power to very high performance, so in that case it's necessary to have images in all the folders. Right? Okay. Next comes the data resources. Data resources are basically strings or arrays that are used in the application. So take the case of an XML layout where we have some text views, images and all. So all the text views, if you are setting the text, you can actually set it in multiple ways. You can actually give the text directly in XML itself, layout XML itself, but that's very bad practice. So all the text that you are going to use in the application, that must be in one string XML file itself. So you can actually see these various folders in the Android structure. In various we will be having strings.xml file. So in that strings.xml you can actually define all your values that you are going to use in the application. That will be in XML format. Okay. So you can actually even and one XML file of Euron is the values folder. That is fine. Then you can refer to that XML file and load the text on it.
Systems, you show it in practice.
Yeah, after this we will be showing a sample application, creating a sample application. So that is be clear about all these structures.
Having going to replace the normal, what is the correct application? They will start absorbing software, they will start government software, taking replace the normal. Jahangir, muhtasar bu. Bir de Jahangir'in büyük İslam'ın. Şurada buraya anlayınca insan da burayı software yapıyoruz bu şan. Yanlış sayfa. Aktivist bu. Tamam mı? Peki kutu activities in a coordinate automation. And kadam application, kadam career, for the converter, set up technique promotion business with an activity, the formation of the Java concept. Third after email, we select class according to station report. So the project company is cloud activity, the main activity. New is class. Activity main, который служит для контроля работы. Например, контролирует кнопку, нажимать кнопку, вот эта функция ее руку, это все управляет класс Java. Потом структура ID, это будет самим activity. Окно это будет. Когда вы нажимаете на кнопку переходите на другое окно, то это означает, что мы переходим на другой activity, у которого также есть свой класс Java, который также управляет структурой того activity. Все вот так. Как бы каждое окно имеет свой activity, всего формата и в то же время класс. Хорошо? Ресурсы, да? Ресурсы, вы там хотим также своя ресурс, вот эти наши слои, где могут быть подключены, где вы можете сами создать XML формата, разные ресурсы, и вот если в каждой слое, самое главное, с помощью вот этого метода, когда мы называем консультив, то есть его с помощью подключаем у каждого класса, у каждого окна есть по умолчанию метод onCreate. Что означает при запуске, что он должен выполнить. Хорошо? И вот там прописано, что, например, при запуске он должен подключить и с ресурсом взять слои, вот такой же автомат. Хорошо? Слой, который подключится туда, и он будет показан. Ресурсы, где мы размещаем, например, все виды картины, которые там используют. Фон, верхний там, кнопки, и так далее, и так далее. И почему такая, вот это все, что мы видим, это разрешение экрана. Если девайса, что означает? Он привел два примера, когда в одном случае вы обязаны, если одна картинка, то обязаны во всех этих разрешениях, а в другом случае, когда в одном из них. Первый вариант, когда приложение для разных видов девайсов, телефон, планшет, одновременно если там должен поддерживаться, тогда мы должны и обязаны с вами вот эту картинку разместить во всех этих разрешениях. Хорошо? Снизу вверх разрешение увеличивается. X75, W75 это означает максимальное разрешение, которое используется в вашем приложении. А LDPI, означает самое минимальное. И как бы для чего это сделано? Когда вы, например, скачиваете в телефоне, он автоматически, в зависимости от разрешения экрана, подключит какой-то из них. Как бы мы запишем одну картинку вот в этих разрешениях, и когда, в зависимости, кто в каком девайсе скачивает, Android сам автоматически подключит один из них. И, например, он пример, если, например, вы указываете, вот, например, картинку ставите в разрешении W35, я его скачал в телефоне какому-либо, а у него разрешение LDPI. Тогда возникает такой момент, что мы знаем, что устройство девайсы с разрешением LDPI, у них очень ограниченная оперативная память и также процессор, да, в области нам. Исходя из этого, программа будет, сама система будет пытаться как-то сузить, сжать вот эту информацию и изменить пропорцию картинки и попытаться показать его разрешение LDPI. И если памяти в этом не хватит, то будет ошибка в приложении краш.
вещи, да, как бы программа закроется, там выдастся ошибки. Вот такие ошибки мы возьмем. Но если вы создаете, например, приложение только для планшета, тогда вы можете смело в одну визу. И все. Если вы знаете, что приложение, если создаете приложение только для одного вида девайса, тогда только в том случае можно использовать только нужное вам разрешение. Не обязательно вообще. Все? Ресурсы? Данные ресурсы. Как? Как я сегодня сказал, что ошибка является то, когда создатели используют, например, когда окно, вот кнопка какая-либо, текст кнопки указывается в самом XML файле, activity того окна. Также, например, placeholder, да, вот, например, видите логин, видите пароль, такие значения, если они заносятся в самом XML файле, это является ошибочкой. Также заголовки окон, меню и так далее, вот все основные информации, которые там в коде самого XML указывают, это ошибка. Я сейчас объясню, вот, могу примерить показать. Например, сейчас, если кто-либо работает в студии, там есть окно свойств, да? Если вы напрямую оттуда указываете значение вот этих любых вот этих данных, это является ошибкой. Неправильно так делаешь, почему? Так как проводить локализацию, локализацию провести почти нереально. Я сейчас объясню это. Любая информация, которая, например, мы в будущем должны будем переименовать, мы в будущем должны будем локализацию, здесь просто время. Например, если через месяц я хочу изменить, пусть будет кнопка, да, название кнопки на другой что-либо, то мне придется самому каждый из этих кнопок открывать эти окна, активити и менять их в системе. Исходя из этого, как бы ни в коем случае нельзя хранить вот такие информации, с вами указывать в значениях свойства XML вот этого активити. Хорошо? Эту всю информацию надо хранить в строковых ресурсах. Strings XML, в папке values. Есть по умолчанию там один XML файл для следующего хранения строковых данных, но вы можете смело собрать другие, если вы видите в этом надобность. В чем цель? Вы сам создаете стоковые ресурсы, указываете там имена и значения. Вот, например, заголовок нашего приложения. Давайте запустим, ну да, заголовок нашего приложения. Title. Какой-либо string, name, проверим в кавычках, title и значение его. Например, какое-то название. И вот теперь, где угодно вы его можете смело указывать, как бы ссылаться на это. И через месяц, если вы здесь измените, то во всех активити, во всех элементах, где это использовали, автоматически изменится. Хорошо? Вот в чем цель, как вы используете строковых ресурсов. Там еще, если ты сказал, что есть у нас массивы. Строковые массивы, например, выведите сразу. Хорошо? Тогда в любом случае не просто строковые ресурсы, а строковый массив надо создать, где будет список, записи будут в виде стран. И как другой, например, вы можете еще также изменить только в этом списке, и везде, во всех, где вы активити это использовали, все изменится. Как бы, да, возможно, когда вы имеете в виду, что можете, естественно, указать.
Я не знаю, другие моменты, ты сказал, хранить данные в XML нельзя. Это там будет Java.
В XML активити хранить информацию нельзя, не нужно. Можно, есть возможность, но это неправильный метод, это ошибочный метод, когда, вот, например, если окно главное, да, у вас там заголовок идет, если в этот заголовок указываете сами с помощью XML этого активити, а что в кавычках указывается просто заголовок, оно будет работать, оно никакого ошибки не выдаст, ошибки.
Но XML активити,
да, но я активити вот этого активити. Поэтому я говорю, что XML этого активити не видно, где вы используете. В нем самом указывать нельзя. Чтобы результат откуда ссылаемся на. Если есть вопрос, пожалуйста. Next important thing is there is a manifest file, Android manifest.xml file. That is an XML file. Okay, that actually defines various aspects of the app, like what should be the first activity. When you launch the app, what should be the first activity? Okay, and if you are using some special, if you want some special permissions, like if you want to access user messages. I mean, if your app wants to access the user messages, so then you have to define the manifest file, like gives permission, reverse permission, SMS. So all the configuration basically is a configuration file of your entire app. So now we will do a sample application. And
Başlamak istiyoruz muhtemelen kategori nazarı. O yüzden de history ya parmağın nişan bulsan. Tanrı kura tanrı hoş geldin. Abi bu takım nişan. Bu.
جهانگیر خود پیترم بسیارتر قبل بود.
I'm sorry for most music.
نه super.
So this is our Android Studio. Okay. So I just opened it. This is how the static screen will be. You can actually start a new Android Studio project. Okay. That's for the application name. You can see company domain. So by default it will be showing like your name.example.com. So you have to define it properly. Otherwise, this is something which comes in. And when you are uploading your app to Play Store, this identifier and all are important. So important to give proper domain there. Okay. So here comes the options like what is your target device. Well, basic thing will be, basically if you will be developing for phone and tablet, you can actually develop for TV or Google Glass, so or where watches. So all those things are there. So we will be basically targeting for phone and tablet. And here it comes the tablet versions. So it says from Android 1 to, you can actually target from, it's basically from which version of OS the application should run. So as of now, most of the devices are starting with 2.3. There are very few devices whose OS version is very less than 2.3. As of now, even 2.3 is also very less. Most of them are starting with 4 and above. You can actually target to, you are the one to decide which one to, which should be your target. So, if you are focusing something on all kinds of audience, then how to go for 2.3. Or if you are going for some application which targets specific groups like office going people, so they will be having, all of them will be having device whose OS version is greater than 4. So you have to decide which OS version to support. One more thing is like, if you are going to target for more, like from 2.3, then the complexity will be more, because from 2.3 to 4 there is a big change there. So some of the APIs may not be some of the APIs which are working in 4, it may not work in 2.3. So it actually depends. A lot of factors are dependent. So you have to be careful on choosing your target. So here comes the templates. So there you can see a lot of templates available. Blank activity, activity with fragment, full screen activity, goal match. So basically we'll be going with blank activity. So inside, if you start with blank activity, you can add anything according to your requirement and proceed further. So here comes the main activity. So this will be the first activity in your, by default, this will be taken as the default activity on launching your app. So once you launch your app, you will be coming to this. But you can actually change it in Android manifest, but by default This will be the landing activity screen. So you can see layout name. So one activity name is the Java class. A layout name means that XML file that you are going to create the views.
فهمیده نه بالا چیز در مورد یه سری کنونی سیستم اپراسیونی که میذارم بعد هر یک سطری که امتیازی پیش از این نشان داده شد بالا چیز در مورد شاید اما چرا در نظر دارد
برای ایتون نمبر هم بس
چیکار میکنند؟
بسه آمده نظر اینسکومنتی و برنامه
برنامه که میسوده در من
So you can see the basic structure there. So this Java folder actually contains the activity. So you can see some basic lifecycle codes generated there. So this on create view. So this on create you are actually loading activity main. This will come to it later. So this is the Java, all the Java classes that you are going to do. For example, if you are adding one more screen, it will be added. I mean, it must be added here. So that is the Java folder. You can see drawables. As I told you, you can actually look at better this way. Like HTTPI, MDPI, XHTTPI, XHTTPI. You can see the drawable folders. You can see image added. Basically the launcher default icon, that Android icon. And if you are creating a application by default, it will be showing on Android logo as the app icon. So this is actually showing. You can see here. So you can see it added in all the folders, right? Then comes the layout. You can actually toggle between actual design. You can see a preview of whatever you have designed. So here you can see that if you click on text, it will actually show the actual XML file itself. Whatever is there. By default, you will be getting one relative layout and a text view on that which says hello world. Okay, you can see that. So this is the layout XML file. So this layout XML file, you can see it's loaded here. You can see this set content view r.layout.activity main. So basically this is the first on create is the first method on life cycle of that activity. So on create of that, it's actually loading. R means resources. So from resources layout folder, it's actually loading activity main. You can see this. In layout folder you can see activity main. So basically it tells like on load of this, load this particular XML file and show it. Okay, so you can see here string / hello world. Text equal to a string called hello world. Okay, so string, you can see in values there is one strings XML. This is what I told about earlier when we discussed about data files. So data files actually contains, as I told earlier, all the strings that are using in the application. That's actually defined here. So app name, first application. However, this text is, this text, however, it's not hard-coded in the XML layout of in the activity. It's actually defined in XML. So if you say strings, resources, strings hello world, you will get, it will be referring to this particular text.
Okay.
String hello world. So string hello world is that particular hello world. So this hello world text will be taken up there. So advantage of defining here is like later on if you want to change that particular text, it's not necessary to go to the entire activity and find where exactly is the text that is already defined and changing. Instead of that, you can refer to this particular XML itself and you can easily find it out in one particular file. So instead of searching everywhere, it's easy to figure it out here itself and change it. Another advantage of defining things in strings file is like it's better. If you want to localize your app, basically you'll be translating the entire text that you are using in the application, right? So we'll be taking a copy of this application, this particular XML file, and we'll be translating it and be adding it here. I'll just show one example. You can select the language to which you want to
strings. That's yes.
so you can see here.
برای اصلا کنم یا لکالیزاسyon کرنا
update करना.
Okay, so basically what we'll be doing is like we'll be copying this entire XML entire string to whatever you are using in the application and
توجیه هست تگب داره همون کدیروب که ایزوی که کدیمون نگه تگه میگه.
So here you have to define the text in your respective language. Now I added Tajik language, so this text must be replaced with Tajik language. So basically what happens is like based on your device language, Android actually picks the respective file, respective XML file, and that text will be displayed. Understood? Now comes the Android My First file. Here we can see basic configuration for your application.
file manifest is not such
I'll actually show you another
کسانی که جمله که دیکور کردید و دستوران جمله خیلی که لکالیزاسیا میکنه بود دوست زبان بمثل گویم که هم جاده فایل XML است خیلی ترجمهش هست نه همه خیلی ترجمهش عینا هم به مانند است
so this another manifest file you can see lot of permissions access network state this like access location if you want to access the user's current location so all those things have to be declared in this manifest file it access internet it access camera read external storage write external storage send SMS
characteristic
so basically your apps entire configuration is actually defined here. Okay. Now we will just build and run the app and let us see. So one disadvantage in Android is like if you want to build and run in emulator, it actually takes a lot of time to launch the virtual device and run the application. So while developing Android, you must actually connect your device itself and run it directly to your device. That will be a lot more faster and you can actually so I am launching a virtual device, virtual Android device. Takes the time to load everything. Just launch. Okay. So if you try to if you are trying to launch this one application for with one activity, so it actually launches really faster. If your application is rich complex and if you have too many activities, the emulator it takes a lot of time to launch. Instead, you have to try it in your device itself and
जो emulator छह में पानी
فضا برای تست کردن
वो सिर्फ चले गए चले गए نسخه از وجود خود اونا برای
now I have connected my device. You can see the device there. You click OK. It launches very fast. You can see this. It's faster and it's always better to develop in the device itself so that you can identify the issues if it is crashing in some device. So it's always better to start developing in the device itself instead of going for emulation.
हम वक्त मानने हैं कि एक तरफ की जबकि चीज़ों के उसका हम तौर पर समझ समझना این هم دورتر است و هم کمبودیاش تستر دیده میتواند. تو با یک چیز دیگه است اینجا در ایمولاتور تو در یک 4-5 نمودی دیوایس میسازه. تلفن شما میگی همون در اون طریق کمبودی هم دارد که میسازه در تلفن ایجاد کنید در من خورده اون که در دیگه را برای همین کنستی پس اون در اشتراک ماشینی در دیگه آماده کسی دیگه شناس کنید که دیگه 4-5 نمودی هم بودی شکلی باید سامسونگ نکسوس سی تکلیف و دیگر اندرویدش نکرده باشم در همه سنجام می‌کنم. اون دیگه کنم. So once you finish and developing complete your coding now, if you want to send your application to Play Store, how to generate an APK file, application file. Yeah. So that I will be we are going to see how to generate the APK file. Okay. Go to build. You can see an option called generate signed APK. So if you go to the project directory in your whatever projects you are creating, it will be available in this particular folder, Android Studio projects. So this will be the workspace. So whatever projects you are creating, it will be generated here. Okay. So if you go to the particular folder, if you have built it at least once, you can see the APK file. File que vocês estão na coisa, porque file. Agora eu te pergunto. Formatı, file, nasıl bir şey daha aslında? Estilo ustalamış bir file. Yeter. Right. Search here, you will actually get it. So, but whatever we are getting in this particular project folder, it won't be able to. We won't be able to upload it to the Play Store. So, if you want to upload it to the Play Store, how to follow this process? Okay. So, go to build. Click on generate signed APK. You can see build generate signed APK. Okay. So key store. Key is actually basically how to create a key by which you are signing the application. So we are creating a new key. New key is created. One important thing to be noted here is that once you generate a key and if you upload the app to the App Store, okay, later on if you want to send an update to the same app, assume like you want to make some improvements and you
want to send an update to the same application. So it's important to have same key, whatever key that you use to sign the application first time, it must be stored safely so that next time if you want to send an update, you have to use the same key to sign. Otherwise, you cannot send it as an update to the same application. Okay, so it's important to store the key somewhere regularly. So that's for the destination folder.
Can you tell us the one as well? Yeah, Marine, right? Yeah, Marine, that is. И так это ключ, что делает, защищает ваше приложение от других вмешательств.
So you can see here, it's generating the APK. So APK is generated successfully. You can see. So there is a destination folder right here. APK is generated. So you can take that APK, copy that APK and upload to the stores. These are basic things. Any queries?
Значит, того самого нас получилось, пока он довольно скорая, что мог жить на ее отношении. Scripts are around reader files. Scripts
So you can see some scripts here. So these are some more scripts which are used while generating the APK. Some basically this too is a kind of configuration file. Okay, so you can see some dependencies defined here. So dependencies are basically any libraries, external libraries that you are using. So any jar file, if you are using any external jar files, you must actually add it here. Then here you can see earlier we have seen while starting the project, you have seen like we are targeting for 2.3, right? 2.3 and above. 2.3 is Android is actually giving API level for each version. So 2.3 is API level 9. So this one. So each version of Android is basically having one API level. It will be increased. API level is increased by 1. So at the starting, even if you have decided like 2.3, if you want to change it to 4, you can actually change it here. This minimum SDK version is what you have to change here. Then, yeah, this is build type. You can see unified enable equal to false. So this is something like it's actually what to say. You can see ProGuard here. ProGuard is something which actually by generating your APK, your entire code will be what to say, translated like whatever functions you have defined, that will be shortened like if you are assume like you are defining a function like what to say, goes to Facebook. Assume like the function name is goes to Facebook. So if you enable minify enable equal to true here, that function actually reduces to some shorten to some name like A or B. So the entire application size will be reduced if you enable this program. So basically, if you start, you can see like an application generated without this minify enabled equal to false, or what to say? If minify is enabled, it is equal to true. The entire size of the application reduces too much. You can actually see that.
এর মধ্যে পুছিলাম সীমাগুলো যেমন সে ফাউল খাতা বা খোল করবা গিরিয়ন খাতা ডিজাইন
I have a question. What about upgrading the application after?
So once you release one version,
Yeah.
you are releasing a new version.
Yeah.
That you are telling
Yeah.
about. Okay. So in that case, how to you can see
We need to change some what we want, and then uploading this file a new one, or
yes, we actually so unlike websites and all, if it is a website, if you want to change something, if you just want to change the respective file and you can just upload. That actually, and only that if you change that particular file, the change
all file or that file we change it.
So if you take website, only one file change may solve your problem. But in case of application, you have to generate a new version, and the APK must be generated again with a new version code, and you have to send it to App Store again.
Delete the old version in App Store in a Google
The
Play.
older version will be there. We are actually pushing a new version, so the older one will be replaced with the new application.
Older version will be stay in a store.
No, once you send the update, you cannot get the older version again, right? You will be getting the latest version only. The older version will not be available again. If you send a new version,
if someone not want to update to a new version,
they can still keep the older one. So if you check your device, you'll be getting a notification like once you're getting connected to Wi-Fi, you will get some notification.
Available.
All updates are available. So it's up to the user whether you want to update it or not.
Okay.
So basically, it automatically gets the actually there's a notification like update is available. So but it's up to the user. The user don't want to update, he can still keep using the older one. So still in that case, there are several cases like will be restricting the users to older one, because some changes that we makes in the backend, there are chances like, for example, assume the case of login. In login we actually want to correct some extra information, like initial stage we were not correcting that information. So assume like on login you want to pick the device manufacturer name. So if you want first when we released app, we were not picking the device manufacturer name. So at the later stage, you decided something like based on this manufacturer, you want to send some offers to the user or something like that. So in that case, you actually need the manufacturer name. So you send an update to the App Store, but if the user is still using the old app, we cannot actually get the device manufacturer name, right? So in that case, we may have to force the user to update. So once you open the app, we will send a notification like please update to the latest version so that you get
In this case, we can restore in an older version if we don't like the new version. New updating is available, and we installed this update, and after updating, I don't like this version,
Okay.
and I need to restore the older
It's
version.
possible only for system applications. Like there are some default applications which are coming with the system, right? Like Gmail or what to say, Google Maps. Some default applications are shipped with the device. So if the user is getting an update and he updates it, okay, he can actually say he didn't like it, so you'll get an option like uninstall updates. But if it's something which is downloaded by the user, which was not coming with the system, so in that case, if you update it, there is no way to go
back, yeah. Okay. Only one way.
Yeah.
Use it and keep it
Use it,
inside.
that's all. Otherwise, what you can do is
अगर उसके abnormalini sistemni bo'shadiga qadam agar kimso'gin приложение дополнительно bo'shadiga
so there is one way by which you can solve the problem. So what you can actually do is like there are some file managers called ES File Explorer Android. I can show it to you. So if you go to ES File Explorer, you'll get an option to back up the current APK.
Backup and then updating. Yes?
Yeah.
And if you don't like this version, we will restore it.
No, we must uninstall the current one. Okay?
And install the old one.
Files. That way you can actually. But if you are not taking a backup, there is no way to revert it.
Okay.
Because if we have 5 minutes for questions, and answers, and after that we will have 15 minutes break. Yeah, after the break, but so,
планшет дорума приложение телефон да саату да гамеша ки вақти планшет да скачат кади автоматически размеша гира.
The question is about different devices. For instance, I'm using iPad. Okay, so if I develop if you develop the application using that particular device, and I'll transfer that application into the mobile device, mobile phone. What will happen with the resolution?
Okay. So basically, while developing it, so we can actually decide if you want to develop for. I mean, if you want separate layouts for phone and tablet. Okay. So if you are not, if you want similar layouts, like same view will be like expanded way. So if you just want that much, the normal way will work. So if you want something like for tablet, it should show like this. For mobile, it should show another way. In that case, in your layout, your XML layout is there, right? You have to define separately for tablet and for.
Yani anlamı tahlili barnama şunu software layout هر یک فیکشن داره ساختاری هر یک تجهیزات اولیه رو میتونید با این نوبت گیره و همین که فرمان یکی پس کردیم اگر هنگام استفاده بودم در تبلیغ در پلانشت این هم یک باید پیدا شود هنگام استفاده در دیگر محیط تلفن موبیلی این هم یعنی همون لیاوت هایی که نشان داد این روانه برای معین کردنی برای آسان کردنی و
گزارش
از یک تجهیزات و تجهیزات دیگر یعنی راحت بودن استفاده برنامه شما در تجهیزات برنامه
یک چیز ilova کردنی هستم که مثلا در اندروید اندروید مثال بگیم که در بعض اندروید هستن تلفن هست، پلانشت هست، تلویزور هست، ساعت هست، مثال بگیم که ماشین‌ها هستن. مثال یک پروژه ساخته میتونه که در همش کار کنه، یعنی که برابر کار کنه، یعنی که با گزارش اکران‌هایش، با گزارش مثال فرمت‌هایش. انا فرقی اندروید از iOS همین است که مثال بگیم iOS هر یک استانداردی که انتخاب میکنید هم پروژه باید که همون استاندارد باشه. یعنی که بگیم که در iOS چی هست؟ تلفن هست، پلانشت هست، ساعت هست، بعد چی هست؟ مکبوک ها هستن، کامپیوتر هستن. یعنی که هر یک تاش به علاوه میسازه، علاوه گنراسیون میکنه. یعنی که یک تا سوزی مثال بگیم که همش با کار کنه خیلی نیست. مثال بگیم تلفن با ساختی اگر پلانشت با صنوفر کردی همون حجم اکران تلفن در پلانشت نشان میده. بعد اگر اینستاگرام مثال همین خیلی است، اگر بخیر در پایینش 2x نویسه، 2x اگر زیر کنید دوباره بر کلام میکنه، لیکن پیکسلاش لیکن بزد میشه. اما خیلی چیزاش مثل فرقیت بین اندروید و iOS در همین است.
Another thing that we have to keep in mind is like while developing itself, we have to test our app across different manufacturers like Samsung, Sony. So lot of things like a lot of APIs may work on one manufacturer, but it may not work on the other. So better to test it the initial stage, like initial stage itself, like if it is working on all the operators. If you are targeting wide audience, it must be tested across different audience, I mean manufacturer devices.
در روان تهیه برنامه باید از شما با نظر گیرید که برنامه شما در دستگاه‌ها، تلفن‌های دستگاه‌های تجهیزات گوناگون استحصال کنندگان گوناگون خوب کار می‌کنند. و برای فهمید مقصد رسیدن باید هنگام تهیه برنامه شما باید برنامه خود را در پلتفرم گوناگون تهیه. پلتفرم اندروید یک در محیطی مثلا در تلفن سامسونگ، HTC، دیگر تلفن‌های مبیلی، دیگر تلفن‌هایی که سیستم اپراتوری اندروید رو دارند و شما می‌خواهید که استفاده برندگان همین تجهیزات رو راحت از برنامه شما استفاده کنند. یعنی همین باید در روند تهیه باید سنجید. وابسته از تجهیزاتی استحصالی کنندگان گوناگون.
سببش این که مثال بگیم که هر یک تجهیزاتی که در اندروید کار میکنه خیلی که حساب نمی‌کنم، مثال بگیم سامسونگ، موتورولا، LG، HTC یا دیگرها، هر یک همین ها آسوس میشه. هر یک همین ها پکیتی اندرویدی خودش دارد، یعنی که اندرویدی خودش مثلا تهیه میکند برای تجهیزات خودش. یعنی که یک اندروید نه و میتونن هر اندرویدی گیرن. اگر ببینید خودش در داخلش هم هر گوناگون است. برای مثال بگیم که اکرانش هم گوناگون است، حجم اکرانش هم، ساختار اکرانش هم گوناگون است. برای همین برای سنجیدن همین.
Even in one manufacturer itself, different models. For example, in Samsung Galaxy, if you take Samsung Galaxy, for example, like Galaxy Grand. Samsung Galaxy Grand.
Oh.
So there may be a single SIM that can be dual SIM also. There Grand Prios also may be there.
Yeah.
So some of the things, assume like doing something, an application which is based on mobile network like sync and strength, something, those kind of things. So things which are written for a single SIM device, the code it may not work for a dual SIM device. So even in one manufacturer itself, there are a lot of hardware changes. So all those things should be tested at the starting itself.
حتی در پروفیل تجهیزات‌های استحصالی یک شرکت میتونن حالتهای گوناگون باشد. مثلا مثالی سامسونگ گالاکسی رو آوردم، این اگر دو سیم کارت داشته باشد از یک سیم کارت تجهیزات یک سیم کارت رو فرقیت است. یعنی حتی در دایره در داخل استحصالی یک شرکت میتونن فرقیت باشد. اما اینا باید به نظر گیریم هنگام تهیه برنامه خود.
این برای ویش هست، یوزابیلیتی، یعنی که удобство использования.
роҳати
ноҳояти истифодабаранда. Баъд нагӯянд ки ин сохтасу дасташ кажалаб даст накард.
бачаҳо саволу ҷавобҳоро мекунем дар вақти шои қаҳманӯшӣ танаффус ки дорем давом дидем. синфи сафар 360 барои меҳмонон барои шогирдои аз пиёдачӯи ташкил кардаем дар хонаи 360 шогирдони муҳтарам медоред қоидаи кофебрека медоред а шумо мегиред ҳамон маҳсулоти ки мехӯред хӯрданӣ баъд на бисёр зудтар меравед як кунҷа истодан суҳбат кардан мегиред гирди истода наместед дигаронам дастанд